I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
As a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken. We've never had contact with this individual ever. So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are speaking at this moment.
So, the case of Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf is still evolving. And as I've put out in several episodes I've done on this case, one thing that keeps repeating, which I personally don't agree with, is the fact that some people are pushing this narrative that what Karmelo Anthony did to Austin Metcalf in the form of he allegedly stabbing him in the heart with a knife amounts to self-defense. Some have gone on to cite the case of Rittenhouse as an example for which the defense of self-defense should suffice in the case of Karmelo Anthony. I don't agree with that. And I'm going to detail out the reasons why I don't agree with that. Mind you, the laws differ depending on the jurisdiction in which you find yourself. I'll state for the record that I am currently in Ghana in West Africa. And as it stands now, per our laws, the little legal knowledge I have, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but the little legal knowledge I have, per our laws here in Ghana, for the defense of self-defense to be successful as a defense in court, it would have to be determined that the force that you applied or the action you resorted to as your way of defending yourself, which you are calling self-defense, should be commensurate and consistent and equal to the force or the action that the person you felt the need to defend yourself from was exerting on you. I hope you got it. It's quite a mouthful. Let me try and simplify. Now, here in our jurisdiction, for the defense of self-defense to be successful in court, you must prove, or it must be ascertained, that the action that you did on the person who was attacking you is consistent in level and in measure to the action the person was attacking you with. At that point, there's a very high rate of probability that the defense of self-defense will be successful. But if it comes to a situation where the action that you exerted on the person you felt was attacking you far outweighs what they were doing, then a defense of self-defense is not likely to be successful. Now, let's bring it to the jurisdiction of the US. Before I will give my 2 cents on them, let's go and hear from some legal experts giving their views, or legal experts in the USA giving their views on whether or not the defense of self-defense will be successful for Karmelo Anthony for him allegedly choosing to stab Austin Metcalf in the heart as a way of defending himself from being touched and shoved, allegedly, by Austin Metcalf. Let's go and listen to them, then I'll come back with my 2 cents.
But we want to break down the law. We want to get to the bottom of the situation. Let's get into it.
In order for an assault to be justified under Texas law, proportional force must be present. This means that the amount of force that's used to assault the alleged victim must be proportionate to the threats you received. I know this sounds like some sort of diagram or something that you're coming up with. No one's thinking about this at the moment of all these things taking place. So my point is this, though. The law is looking to see if you overreacted in a situation. So if someone...
The law is going to look to see, did Karmelo Anthony overreact in the situation? That's what they're going to have to decide. Did he overreact? Because as I showed you guys in the mugshot, let's go back there just for a quick second. Where do you see the bruises on Karmelo Anthony's face? Where do you see any sort of indication that his life was in imminent danger? I don't see it. It's clear to me in this photo that Karmelo Anthony looks fine. Yeah, somebody probably said a couple words to him. Yeah, maybe there was some shoving. He shoved, they shoved. He could have really just walked away, but he chose to stay there in someone else's tent. Let's go back to the video now.
Up to you and they slap you on the face, you can't turn around and pull out a gun and shoot them in the chest. Okay? So, if someone comes at you trying to punch you, you don't get to knife them in the neck. It just doesn't work out that way. It's a totally different type of force. That is not a proportionate force. So
all right. So you heard them. And it seems that what they are saying pertains in the US is very similar to what I was saying pertains here in my country, Ghana, in West Africa. And that is the fact that for you to successfully claim self-defense as a defense in court for an action you've done or meted out to somebody, it must be established that the action that you meted out was actually commensurate with the action that was being exacted on you. So let's use some examples to try and clarify this better. And I think the man made it really better. He spoke about the fact that the question is whether or not you overreacted in your action that you are deeming as self-defense. So, for example, let's say somebody shoves you or pushes you, and straight away you reached for an AK-47 and unalived the person, and you are saying that I am defending myself. It's self-defense. What do you think would happen in this case? It's very likely it wouldn't fly, or it wouldn't be successful in court as a defense, because all the person did was shove you. It's not in any way commensurate with what you decided to do in retaliation by getting an AK-47 and unaliving the person. Again, another thing that will be assessed is the fact that was it possible for you to walk away when the initial action was meted out to you? Assuming, still using the example of the shove, assuming the person shoved you, was it possible for you to walk away? If yes, why didn't you walk away and rather decided that you would go for an AK-47 and unalive the person? I have a similar case on my channel. The pastor who got unalived outside a bar by this woman, and the woman is also claiming self-defense. I did a similar analysis on it. You can check out that video, sorry. But I hope you get the concept. So it's not just about the fact that you felt you have to do something, and bringing it down to the case at hand. Karmelo Anthony and then Austin Metcalf. Per the reports coming in so far, what has been established is that Karmelo Anthony at a point told Austin Metcalf that, touch me and see what happens. And to which allegedly Austin Metcalf obliged, touched him, and some reports say that he shoved him allegedly. And from that point, Karmelo Anthony allegedly just pulled a black knife from his backpack and stabbed him in the heart. How can you go on trying to advocate that is self-defense? I don't agree. I'm not the judge. I'm not the legal expert. I'm just giving my opinion. Because if you juxtapose that outcome of Karmelo Anthony in retaliation or in reaction to what Austin Metcalf did or allegedly did, it is an overkill, literally. It is an exaggerated reaction. It is an overreaction. It is a measure of force and outcome that far, far exceeds whatever Austin Metcalf is alleged to have done. And for this reason, I believe that it's very likely that defense of self-defense for Karmelo Anthony will fail. And if that fails, it would look very likely that he will be on the highway of the possibility of actually going to prison. Because it looks like that is the only thing that might be able to bring this case to a halt. If that defense is successful, then it looks like he will walk free, or maybe with a minimal charge of assault on another level, I don't know. But if that plea or that defense of self-defense fails, Karmelo Anthony is in deep waters. It's very likely he'll be spending some years in jail. Because if that fails, then it's either going to be manslaughter or murder. I don't know how they'll put it. But if that defense of self-defense fails for him, he's not going to escape the outcome of the law. And for me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if it fails. It will be a learning curve for me if it doesn't fail and that defense is successful. I would have to also follow, as I'm already following, and learn that, okay, in some exceptions, like as would have happened in the case of Karmelo Anthony's hearing, maybe self-defense will suffice. It will be a learning curve for myself and a lot of people. But as it stands now, per the little legal knowledge I have, I'm suspecting that that plea would not be successful. But as you know, I'm following the case and I'll bring you the updates as and when they are due. But what do you think? Do you think the plea of self-defense will be successful or not? Let me know in the comment section. If you think it will be successful, let me know why. If you think it will not be successful, let me know why. But like I always say, stay safe, de-escalate if you have the chance. If you can, just walk away. There is more to life than winning an argument. There are a lot of toxic people around. Some don't even know they are toxic. And if you give them the chance, they will mess up the beauty of your life. I'll catch you on the next video. Stay safe out there.